Hello, and welcome to another edition of An English Guy Watching Wrestling. I'm the English Guy, I'm Nick. Thank you so much for clicking on another video, really appreciate it. In this one, I'm going to be covering the 21st of June 2021 edition of AEW Dark Elevation. Now, I want to apologise for the lateness of this review. Usually I do them a couple of days after, if not a day after. It's a few days after now. I'm recording this on the 25th, but there's been other stuff going on this week, good stuff, I'll say that, so I've been a little bit busy. But that being said, with this review, let's jump right into it. Opening matchup was a tag team matchup between FTR and Royce Isaacs and Jarrell Nelson. Now, there you go. It's just FTR's first matchup, I think, since their matchup at Stadium Stampede. And as they've been doing other Pinnacle members, they've been slowly integrated them back onto AEW television, which is fine. And me being me, I've got all the time in the world for FTR. Perhaps one of my favourite tag teams I've ever seen, against a very game Isaacs and Jarrell Nelson. And this is something AEW Dark Elevation has been doing in recent times. They've been giving the non-regulars, shall we say, a really good opportunity to show what they can do. And to be honest, Isaacs and Nelson had a good showing here, but the matchup did go to FTR as I thought it would. And FTR, I can't really say anything bad about them ever. A tag team is always firing on all cylinders. They did here, and they did win the matchup, but not to say that Isaacs and Nelson didn't get a chance to show what they could do. And this was a good opening competitive matchup, to be fair. And I thought a very good way to open the show. And I did enjoy the way that FTR giving their opponents a chance to shine through a little bit. So I said, shine through a little bit, shall we say. But I really enjoyed it, and I thought this was a good opening tag match. So definite thumbs up to both men for this one. So all four men, shall we say, for this one. So good opening matchup. Really enjoyed it. So there we go. And this match was Nyla Rose versus Del Miex. And this was an incredibly quick match. A squash match for Nyla Rose, as per usual. Hit hard, hit the beast bomb, got the win. 1, 2, 3. So there you go. And the next match was another tag match. It was the Acclaimed of Caster and Max Caster and Anthony Bowens versus Baron Black and Tamilian Vinesh, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Apologies if I'm not. I think I am. That was spelt. Anyway, so I should be there in a minute. Anyway, my apologies. I really do like the Acclaimed. I think they're one of the most entertaining tag teams in all of AEW. No other way to say it. In terms of the rap before every single matchup by Max Caster dissing his opponents, the continuity between these two for sure. Because as I said, they were never a tag team before they came to AEW. If you can believe that, they really weren't, and they just click. Simple as that, and they've made it work so well. And arguably are one of the highlights of every broadcast. I would say, whether it's Dark Elevation, AEW Dark, or just Dynamite, or even a pay-per-view for that matter. They're on, and they just shine brightly every single time. I really like it. And this was actually another good tag team matchup, even though it wasn't as much offense at times from Venetian Black. They did have a good showing here too, and I think this was just another good way to push the Acclaimed yet again to put a great performance, and they did. But that's not to say this wasn't a one-sided tag match. Venetian Black did show some good stuff here, and I think this was another good tag team matchup and a great advertisement to show that the talent that are not signed, shall we say, because I'm not sure if Baron Black is, to be completely honest. I'm always positive Venetian's not, but Baron Black has been there for a while, so he knows everybody's seen what he can do. And I see what he can do. I think he's really good. I think he's underrated, to be fair. But I really enjoyed this match overall. So definite thumbs up to all four men for producing another good tag match. So there we go. This match was the Varsity Blondes versus Bums R Us. And no, I am not mispronouncing that. A tag team of Raymond Beasley and Milo Beasley. Or Milo. Or is it Milo? I think Milo's the best way to pronounce it. And they were playing sort of homeless people, but as a tag team. So it was very, very unusual. Bums R Us, I thought, was a great name for these two. I've said it before and I'll say it again. When it comes to the Varsity Blondes, I don't think there's a more babyface tag team in all of AEW, to be completely honest with you. And I think, as I said it before and I'll say it again, the most improved tag team in all of AEW in 2021. And this was a good short match, even though the Varsity Blondes did win in pretty quick fashion. It was a great way to continue their momentum, and they've had a lot of momentum as of late. And Brian Pillman Jr., as of in a few hours today, because it recorded on the 25th, will have a matchup against Miro for the AEW TNT title. So it's interesting to see how that goes. I mean, I think, and I'm hoping Brian Pillman does get a win, because I do like Brian Pillman, but I do like Miro as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But this was a good, short, fun tag match. So thumbs up to all 4 men for entertaining. And one of the most unusual tag matches I've ever seen in AEW Dark Elevation. The Varsity Blondes versus Bums Are Us. What else can you say? But can't really fault that. So there you go. Next matchup was Chris Statlander versus Renee Michelle. And again, a great win here for Chris Statlander. And I really do like how she's done stuff since she's returned from injury. Obviously 11 months on the shelf with a bad knee injury. And since coming back, she's been doing what Chris Statlander always does, being really, really good. And arguably, apart from Nyla Rose, perhaps the most powerful competitor in all the women's division in AEW. And she's showing it. I think this is her chance to get the momentum back a bit more, because obviously returning from injury, especially after 11 months for anyone, may be tricky, very, very tricky. Sorry. But that being said, she's been showing it at all. So Chris Statlander picking up the win, carrying on the momentum and carrying on the winning ways since her return. So I definitely can't fault that. And I really hope that it carries on, because I do like Chris. I think she's got a great future. A very, very unique character. I used to say it's not great, because it is. So definitely thumbs up to both ladies for that, and thumbs up to this matchup. Next matchup, my apologies, was Matt Hardy versus Juror Joel. My apologies, I pronounced that correctly. This was Matt Hardy being Matt Hardy, and Juror has been in AEW before. He's from India. I'm not too sure where in India he's from, but I think one of the very few, if not the only, wrestler in AEW that's been in AEW, so that is from India. So that's cool. And since he's had some good shines so far in AEW Juror, and Matt Hardy showed it. So appreciated what he was doing, and Matt Hardy picked up the win, but not to say that Matt Hardy was not being Matt Hardy. So he offered Juror a chance to side with the Hardy family office after the matchup, in a way. And obviously, Matt Hardy being Matt Hardy could see the potential, and to be honest, I could see the potential too. He's what he shows Juror when he gets a chance to get offense in is actually quite impressive. And I can see why AEW like to bring him in to have some matches, because I think the way he's carrying on is a great continuation, as I said before, is what AEW Dark Elevation does to bring out the talents that are not signed but given a chance. This could be a great opportunity for that. And I think if it continues on, it could be interesting viewing, to be fair. Because I do like Juror, and of course, Matt Hardy is one of the most reliable professional wrestlers and has been for 20 years. 25 years, actually, at this point, saying longer than that. And of course, kind of curious to see what happens next. So, always to perhaps next week's episode of AEW Dark Elevation. Who knows? So, that being said, thumbs up for this one. This was a good short match, too. So, Matt Hardy picking up the win with the twist of fate was inevitable. But it was a good short match. I enjoyed it. And Juror again showed what he's all about when he got the chance. So hopefully it's going to continue on. Always to the next episode of AEW Dark Elevations. Or maybe just after that. We'll see what happens. Next match was Shawn Spears and Wardlow versus Ryzen and Cal Hero. Another match for Pinnacle on AEW television, and I think this is the first time I've ever seen Shawn Spears and Wardlow in a tag match, to be completely honest with you. I don't think I've ever seen them as partners, because usually you see Wardlow and MJF tagging together. Shawn Spears is kind of the individual of the group, because you've got FTR, obviously Wardlow and MJF are pretty much tag team partners, but Spears and Wardlow, all for that, because I really do like both men. And this was a good short tag match, and it's great to see the Pinnacle once again back on AEW television, because after their loss at Stadium Stampede 2, I think they want to build up the momentum once again to show what they can do. And I'll say this, and I'll say it before, it's great to see Shawn Spears back once again after some time away from AEW. But Shawn Spears, I think, is criminally underrated as a wrestler. The guy can do it all. And Wardlow it's getting better and better as time goes on. And I think the Pinnacle, hopefully will continue to rebuild the momentum of what they're known for, because take away the flash and the style, you have got superb professional wrestlers in the Pinnacle, and it's continuing. So it's starting to show that a bit more. So I'm really proud. I'm really happy to see that. My apologies. So when they did win the matchup, again, Wardlow has got a new finish. I don't know what it's called, to be completely honest with you, but basically I'll try and do it visually. Okay. So for example, this is the top turnbuckle, middle turnbuckle, bottom turnbuckle. So this is the corner. Wardlow, and this is his opponent. Wardlow has his opponent. This is the opponent's head, and his legs on the top right of that. And basically, whilst the opponent's like that, Wardlow drops him down onto a knee, and it's devastating. No other way to say it. It's a knockout, and that's exactly what happened. He got the win with that move, and I don't know what to call it. I really don't. I called it. I'm going to call it devastation, because that's all it is. It's brutal, and that picked up the win in what was a short, fun tag match. And I think Pinnacle winning was the right call here. So, thumbs up to that. Next matchup. My apologies. Was Powerhouse Hobbs versus Darian. Bingston. Yes, Bingston. That's correct. A short matchup again with Powerhouse Hobbs being Powerhouse Hobbs, picked up the win in a very strong emerald flosion. I've never seen him use that. He usually uses the spine buster, but a very unique emerald flosion from Powerhouse Hobbs picked up the win in a short, fun match. So there you go. And this matchup was Jade Carlwell versus Robin Renegade, and the fastest rising female competitor in all of AEW has been Jade Cargill in AEW, undefeated so far, and only a handful of matches, but she's got star power written all over her. She has the opportunity one day to carry on, keep going strong, and I think maybe become a future champion, because she's just got it. Simple as that. She showed it this matchup, very quick win for Jade Cargill and continuing the momentum. So there you go. I think it's all eyes forward for Jade Cargill. Oh, phone just did something with it. Next matchup was a tag match of Pento, Cesaro and Kingston versus Renee Morales and Fuego del Sol. And this was honestly one of my matches of the night, to be fair. It's great to see Eddie teaming with Pento again. Those two have got such a long history with each other in very different places and have been friends for a long time. And they just work as a tag team. I know Ray Phoenix is on the injured list right now, unfortunately. But of course, Eddie Kingston is one of the most versatile and best veterans AEW have got, and also one of the best AEW have got. So if it was a singles match or a tag match, it was. And him and Pento are perhaps two of the hardest hitting wrestlers in all of AEW, to be fair. Against a very game, Renee Morales and Fuego del Sol. And I think I have seen Vari and Fuego tag before, to be fair. And if I haven't, it may have been a trios match. But two high flyers, shall we say, and even though they did lose, they had a good showing here, to be fair. This was actually a very good back and forth tag matchup. Unfortunately, Fuego del Sol lost again, and it pains me to say it because I love Fuego, I really do. Lost yet again, but you know what? It's okay. Fuego will get a win Sunday, at least I hope he will. But no, I enjoyed this matchup. I did. This was a good back and forth matchup between four very different styles. Penta, he can fly. Don't get me wrong, but he's always been more of the harder hitting wrestlers of the Lucha Brothers. Against Ryan Morales, who's a great high flyer. We've seen him in AEW television before. And Fuego, again, great wrestler. And the chance, and he's showing more and more as time goes on. So definitely can't fault that. But this was a good tag match. I enjoyed it a great deal. Kingston and Penta picked up the win, but Morales and Fuego del Sol had a very good showing here too. I thought this was a great continuation of what the unsigned talent like Vari and Fuego can do against the veterans by this point, definitely, of Penta and Eddie. So really good fun tag match. I enjoyed this one, so definitely a thumbs up for that. Led up to the next match of Cesar Bononi versus Jungle Boy, and talk about a height difference. Cesar Bononi just towered over Jungle Boy, and Jungle Boy he's not the biggest guy, but he's also not the smallest guy. shows the heights of Benoni, and this was actually a fun matchup. I enjoyed it, and two very different kind of wrestlers in terms of Jungle Boy. I've said it before, and I'll say again, he's arguably one of the, if not the best all-rounders in AEW, and the long seasoned veteran of AEW, because he's had more matches in AEW than anyone else. And obviously, all signs point to that when he faces Kenny Omega for the AEW World Title. And I honestly am really looking forward to that matchup because Jungle Boy is on a red hot streak right now. He's showing more and more as time goes on. I think this is his opportunity to possibly give the matchup of his career. I mean, what's going to happen? I don't know. Does Jungle Boy deserve to be champion? I'm going to say yes, because I think he is on a red hot streak, and he's hotter than he ever has been before, and he was hot when he started in AEW. And this is his time. Yeah, I think he deserves a title match too. I think this could very well possibly be Jungle Boy's night. Who knows? And hopefully the Elite don't get involved too much, but I think there'll be shenanigans in some way. But no, this was that aside, this was a very good match. And Benoni is a guy I think who's starting to show a lot of improvement in AEW too. Since he's been part of the Wingmen, it's been a bit more of a character side to him, and I think that's what has really made him much, much different than he was before. He was definitely a hard hit before, but now he's just starting to come to his own a little bit more, I think. And this was a good matchup, to be fair. Jungle Boy picking up the win was the right call with the snare trap against a guy like Benoni. Not easy task, but he managed to do it, so I can't fault that. But this was, again, a very, very good matchup, and I enjoyed the way these two worked against each other. Obviously, Benoni being the much bigger guy, trying to use his weight, but Jungle Boy being the veteran, as I said, of AEW by now, outsmarted him, managed to get the win. Obviously, with the wingman on the side of Benoni, obviously Jurassic Express being in Jungle Boy's corner. There was going to be one or two interactions, and there was. And it added to the matchup, and if something like that works, you can't complain. So I really did enjoy this matchup. So thumbs up to both of them for producing entertaining stuff here. So really likes it. Reporters to the main event, and honestly, my match of the night. Matt Sydal versus Jack Evans, and this was a continuation of a sort of feud, shall we say, between the Sydal brothers and TH2, because recently Angelico beat Mike Sydal, Matt Sydal's brother, in the singles matchup. And of course, TH2 have been working with Matt Hardy as they have before in the past. It's kind of mercenaries, shall we say. And Mike said, "Oh, I'm not happy about that." But of course, the Sydal brothers just rely on themselves and their talent, and they've got it. And this was not the first time that Jack Evans and Matt Sydal have ever faced each other. They've faced each other a few times in the past. And as time goes on, it just gets better and better. And this was no exception. This was a cracking main event and a really good back and forth matchup between two of the very best high flyers in AEW. And Matt Sydal has changed his repertoire a little bit. He has a bit more of an all-round game these days, but he can still fly with the best of them. And Jack Evans are going to be the best high flyer in AEW. And that's saying something because he's got some really good high flyers in AEW. But when you've got two veterans like this who have faced each other many times, you are going to get a great match. You've got that and more. The back and forth action, the counter wrestling, the high flying against two men, so between two men who know each other very well. There were counters for the usual moves, but the flow of this matchup was really got me. You got two veterans like this. They can go in there and they could just go 100 miles an hour. It works. They can go at 5 miles an hour. It works. They did a little bit of both, and it was a really, really good matchup. I've seen more high-flying, hard-hitting, faster-paced matches between these two in the past, but that's not to say that they didn't work this one brilliantly, because they did. And I certainly would not be against seeing them do it one more time, because, as I said, these two have faced each other a few times in the past. I've seen the matches they've had, and it's always been good, but this was probably the best all-round match they've ever had against each other. The pacing, the counter wrestling, the high flying, the just overall feel of it was great. I really, really liked it. And Matt winning with the spiral tap. Sorry, I always forget the name of his finish. My apologies, but the finishing with getting his finish up was the right call. And this was a cracking main event. I really liked it, and that topped off what was actually a very fun episode of AEW Dark Elevation, if I can say so. So, on that positive note, I will end the review here. I will see everybody next time. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. But until next time, take care.